This idea that war is the ultimate thing, I hate to tell you, it's not.
Wars are expensive. Everyone's economies are suffering.
The Ukraine conflict. In your perfect world, to try to solve this, what do you think the best case scenario would be for these two, nations to end this war?
How this war ends is going to set a precedent for how the world deals with large-scale state-on-state conflict. And there's another looming large-scale state-on-state conflict. Depending on how this war ends will depend on what happens there.
For the first time in modern history, we're seeing passionate volunteers on both sides.
From what I understand, the Russian economy is currently designed in a way that it cannot survive if it stops fighting.
Daniel, welcome to Security Out Podcast. How's it going, man?
It's very well. How are you?
Doing well. Hugin and Moonin, intelligence, your guys' profile and what you're doing online is remarkable. I am a big fan. Been following you guys for a while, and being married to somebody that is a very astute individual who is constantly debunking things and doing fact checking. It's great to see individuals such as yourself and what you guys are doing over there, putting out real information. And now more than ever, we need the truth. There's so much going on in the world, and what you guys are doing is commendable, to say the least.
Thank you. I enjoy it. It's an interesting hobby, let's say.
Well, let's dive into it, man. How'd you find yourself in this space with this hobby?
So I discharged out of the military end of 2019, I believe, and I moved to Europe. I moved to Budapest in Hungary, and I was doing a master's degree remotely, just living in Hungary. The plan was with me and a mate to just travel around, have a good time, experience Europe, just as two random dudes in our late 20s. And then COVID kind of, came in and destroyed all those plans. So I ended up sitting in an apartment for about a year. It was still fun. We had a great time. We drank a lot. I managed to actually pass my master's degree, which I don't know if I would have without COVID's help. And then towards the end of that, I started working in corporate intelligence, and I started moving away from geopolitics and security-based intelligence. But I still had the passion for it, which, I had in the military and from, my experience. So a friend of mine, Cole, who runs Allcon Intelligence, I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
So me and him served together. We're in the same units.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So he was doing it for China, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific. And we were chatting, and I was I wrote a few things for him about Europe, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you just start your own page?" So I did, and here we are. That was I think I started it at the end of 2022, around about. Yeah.
It's funny. We obviously, through the meme pages, we always make fun of our intel guys, and you think that when somebody, look, sitting in a skiff, diving into reports is not always fun, but for a lot of people, they love it. They're passionate about it. And that's something that I tell all veterans in the show is find what you really love doing and try to find a way to make money, find a way to at least find an outlet through it when you get out. Which 20, 30 years ago, maybe that wasn't the case. But now, certainly with the rise of social media, that's something that is very, the page has grown to, I think you're at 133K. That's insane. There's space for it. There's space. And I have to say, hey, take a tactical pause here, security audit, if you will. If you're an intelligence professional in the military right now, don't take this lightly. You can leave the military, find a great, rewarding career, but still be of service, be of value to individuals. Because like I mentioned earlier, going to your page and getting some actual information versus going and sifting through conventional media, trying to find a nugget of truth is very helpful. Like I said, the instant something was going down in all over the world, I try to go to Allcon or your page to kind of get a real bird's eye view of what's going on, no pun intended. Understanding that the situations are constantly changing. In Ukraine alone, how do you stay on top of it? You don't have the powerhouse of the military anymore. You don't have colleagues to your left and right in uniform. How do you continue gathering and an open source and data mining? Like, how do you do that in today's world?
I mean, I think it comes back to something that I think you want to talk about. It's AI.
Yeah.
So I have like some trusted sources that I go to regularly, and that's where I get basically all of my reporting. And I have it narrowed down to a handful of pages that I would kind of take with a pretty good like grain of salt. And generally cross-referencing them against each other. And then there are some like conventional media pages for bigger stories that are very good. So there's like Reuters, I think, can be pretty good. And then like Deutsche Welle in Germany, they post very good stuff because they also do that. So they get lots of different news articles from different sources and then put them together in one article. So they're kind of doing the same thing. But that's the main way. And then using AI to speed up the process. So like summarizing information or stuff like that, things that would have in the past taken an analyst 3 or 4 hours to do can now take like 60 seconds to a few minutes. And then you just, make sure it sounds right, reword it a little bit, make sure like take out the, weird AI stuff. And then you just make it more human. But that's the only way that a page like mine. So HM Intelligence is just one person. It's just me. Like there's no team.
No way.
It's just me. So there's no way I could do all of this without, the help of something. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, it works pretty well. I think me and Cole talked about this on another podcast a few weeks, probably over a month ago now. But like, AI is a great tool, but it is a tool. It's the same as like any other tool. If you put in good stuff, you can get out good stuff. But if you put in shit, you'll get shit out.
Yeah. You have to gather the real information and give it like, I'm sure you've dove into this and are probably way better versed in it, but giving it the actual like role, task, and like really define that proper prompt before you dive into it. I mean, because if you're trying to do anything with AI, the moment you give it loose boundaries and shitty prompts, like you're gonna get garbage out.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I'm lucky that I can pay for premium Chat GPT, and that has some like features with it where you can like define boundaries for like all of what it's doing. So you can like set preset prompts that no matter what you ask it, it stays within the certain like boundaries. And then you can also give it base documents. So like say I wanted to write a report on Ukraine focusing on the last month. I could go collect the last month's worth of documents and give it to the AI, and then it has that as a base set of documents to work off. So then no matter what I'm asking it or what I'm putting into it from that point on, it has a good solid base level, and it doesn't need to like go and find other things that might be less credible. So yeah, it's like all tools. If you set it up correctly and use it correctly, it can be good.
Yeah, doing this on your own, man. It's funny because I run this whole thing on my own as well. But whenever we see something that's well curated and well developed and like done the right way, we tend to think like this is a multi-person agency. Like from the outside perspective, you do a really good job. It looks like there's a full team. From the website to the social media presence, it's like, holy shit, like this is like, in my mind, it's this, this gang of individuals, rogue individuals that are trying to put something good out there, put information, not put a spin to it, and get it out for the masses. But come to find out, it's on the shoulders of one man. Like, Daniel, you're a veteran. You've served your nation. Like, how do you throttle the responsibility of supporting 133 some odd thousand individuals in the entire world with information and still, find time to live.
I mean, I just don't. I think this comes back to Kiwi mentality of I just don't think about it too much.
Just push it on down.
What does it matter? Like, I don't know. I mean, like I started all of this to learn new things, like while continuing to like focus on geopolitics, but like learn new stuff. Like I built the website, so I had to learn how to build a website, and like watched YouTube videos to learn how to do that. And then like I didn't know how to design, like a social media post, like the imagery for it. So then got Canva and like learned how to use that. It was all like this whole journey has been about learning new things that are not in the wheelhouse of an intelligence analyst. And to be fair, I was a strange. So like, I think Cole as well, actually, both of us are trade, what do you call it? Trade changes. Like so I joined the army into the infantry and I spent 2 years doing that. And then I trained into Intel. So like I joined Intel as a bit of an oddity. There was a few mates of mine who were doing the same thing. So we had a good crew, but yeah. So it's like when you talk about the people that sit in the skiff, I probably wasn't the best one of them, but you need the people that go and talk to the operators, because the skiff people, sometimes they lack certain skills to get the stuff across.
Some do. Yeah, some are amazing. Some and not no shade to you, powerhouse Intel workers, my humans, all you guys, guys and gals. You're amazing individuals. The job. It's fun to make fun of. It's the troll memes, the cave trolls, the weird kids that don't talk and probably have an issue with hygiene. But the reality is, like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of the analysis part. And when you're in the skiff, you're part of a team. You're sitting there collaborating. Everybody has their own role. There's a hierarchy of submitting process. On this side of the house, it's just you. Do you ever worry if you get something wrong? And have you had that problem where you put something out there and immediately you're like, oh shit, I didn't fact check it enough. I didn't verify it enough. I need to pull this down. Like going through that process on your own, like is that something you've gone through?
Yeah, absolutely. And it happens like all the time. The challenging thing about doing intel in social media is speed. Like, if you're not getting stuff out there instantly, like I slept through the first 2 hours of that Venezuela invasion because it went down at like 0200 their time. So like, I think it was like 5 a.m. when it started in the UK. So I woke up to my phone just blowing up for people being like, you're missing the war. But so like, so like instantly I'm like, all right, I need to start. And that's where like, it's a balance of like speed and accuracy. Something has to give. If you want to be super fast, you're going to be less accurate because you just need to be putting stuff out there. And with imagery, like I think we talked about, was AI manipulated footage. Like I've posted numerous things, especially with how much better it's getting, that are just wrong. And you'll find out very quickly because people will tell you.
I can only imagine
do not
the
hold
DMs.
Yeah. The weirdest ones are when it's real and they're telling you it's fake and to end your life. But hey, that's life.
Don't worry, I get the same.
Yeah. Facebook's way worse for it though. I think I didn't have a Facebook page until I think it was last Christmas. Was it when Russia shot down the airliner from Azerbaijan? So I posted that. I just started a Facebook page like a month earlier because Instagram lets you cross post, so it was super easy. I never really thought about it. Turns out I had 2 videos of that plane getting shot down that had gone like viral on Facebook. They had like over 1 million views each. And the comments were like, Instagram comments are bad. Like they are, but it's generally like funny / dark humor. Pretty like can be trolling, but at least there's like a bit of humor to it. Facebook comments, because of the the age of the people that use Facebook as their main source of social media. They're way more aggressive. So I had people just being like, "This isn't real," and I'm like, "But it is." Like, there's multiple angles of the same plane. There's multiple reports of it happening. Yeah, I don't know. And there was a few people that thought that my life should be taken from me for this, for posting this video. I was like, okay, sweet, man.
Yeah. I feel in the same house, but I get it for a meme or for putting out a resource.
Yeah. I mean, the internet gives people that dislocation where they're not going to face consequences for the things they say.
Yeah.
So they're always going to do it.
Do you ever find yourself, or at some point did you find yourself engaging with them, like trying to reassure, like, or have you always maintained the principle of like, I'm not going to engage if it's hate, I'm going to just move on by?
If I'm bored, I might have a wee banter with them. I actually did it over the weekend. There was a page with no followers, it was like no posts, no followers, no profile picture, who messaged me asking me why I was limiting comments on a post. And I don't limit comments on a post because that's counterproductive, right? More comments, more reach. You guys can argue all you want in the comments. It's fine by me. I'm not reading it, so that's sweet. But this guy, so like Instagram often, I think it's like, especially for new accounts, will not let them comment on posts because they're clearly just bot accounts.
Yeah.
And this guy asked me why I'd done it. And I said, I didn't. And he just started like saying real mean stuff. So I just started like being extremely friendly back to him, asking him why. He's getting like very anti-Semitic, accused me of being Jewish. I was like, and then he asked me if I was like an American lapdog. I was like, mate, I'm from New Zealand. I live in the UK. I know what you're on about. I was essentially just had a conversation with this guy for about half an hour and he got bored and stopped replying. So I was like, cool, man.
I'm no longer bored.
Yeah. And I was just messaging him I was just playing Arc Raiders and messaging him in between. So no skin off my nose.
Oh,
but no,
man.
I don't normally engage with hate comments. That is more just for the love of the game. I mean, I grew up in that generation that the internet started when I was about 12 in a big way. So I grew up as an internet troll. So
in the Call of Duty lobbies, just
the most horrific places on the internet. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, when we had Facebook, when I was like a teenager, you could comment on people's connections. So like if you became friends with, say, a girl you liked, your friends would just pile into the comments on that. Like that is nasty business, man. But,
those were cutthroat years.
Yeah. You learn some stuff.
But it's funny because I bring that up because we're in a situation in an age where, flashpoints like Ukraine bring out the worst in people on both sides. Like you can't find anybody that's just willing to say, hey, like, let's just all agree that people dying is bad. And that's the thing that I realized when you go on social media, even if you're just putting out information that's just facts, just putting out info on a daily basis, you're feeding it to the algorithm that's eventually going to get it out to two polarizing groups of people that can't agree on anything. Is it something that you struggle with where you're just trying to put information out there and seeing the comments, seeing the engagement being so negative? Does it ever make you want to change missions or at least get to the point where it's like, fuck, man, like maybe I will turn off comments?
I've never got to that point. I mean, I don't post that much. I mean, I post a lot, but I don't post enough that it's like, I don't know. I also think like the way that Instagram engages, because Instagram is like, I think my most popular platform by a long way. And like the comments, I don't need to see them.
Yeah.
Like my Instagram, I don't know, when you click to see what notifications you have, that's just diabolical. So why? I don't even try and look at it. And like DMs, I can just close it. It doesn't matter.
No.
Where it's not like X, where it's like, to become a big channel, you have to like be engaging with people to like spur conversation. I think that would be a lot different because people are like, you're having to argue your point. Which I guess is good because you get to think about different perspectives, but it would be tough. And also it's a lot more time consuming. Like I have a regular job. HM is a hobby to me. So like I don't have time to be having massive arguments with people on Twitter.
Yeah. Looking at the world today, like there's so much to focus on. What are you keeping tabs on the most? I mean, when you look at China, you look at Taiwan, you look at U.S. and South America now. I mean, I literally woke up this morning and saw a what if. And there's several of these pages, not exactly like yours or Allcon, but they have the flashy maps and they're putting out what if information. Oh, if the U.S. takes over Venezuela, and the graphics are just, and the information they're putting out there is, the typical AI voice, and it makes it sound like it's a position of authority, like it's a real thing, but it's completely speculative and it's not reality and it's not anywhere near being the truth. But it's gaining traction and people are taking this as truth. When you look at the world today, what are the hot points that you're focused on or keeping tabs on the most?
I mean, it's changed in the last few days, I would have to say. So for a bit of background, I made a video over the weekend of like my predictions for the year. I thought it'd be interesting. And I wrote the script on Friday. The script got ruined on Saturday, so I had to rewrite it. And like what I was going to say, I'd made the PowerPoint. I'd set Venezuela wasn't even on the presentation. Like I had just been like, yeah, cool. Yeah. There'll be continued airstrikes, probably moving to the ground. Like I was just going to put it in like some other comments at the end. And then, that happened. Really railroaded the entire video. But I think over the next 12 months, like Russia, Ukraine is going to be the big focus for especially the globe. Like that is just going to continue to be the focal point. I think China, Taiwan is going to probably ramp up in like terms of like political rhetoric and like tensions, but I don't think China is going to actually invade in 2026, that is. And yeah, but like I don't, as a page, I don't really not worry. I do worry about that, but like I don't tend to post about it because like that to me is like, Allcon's got that sorted. I can just not worry about it and reshare his posts. So that's quite helpful. So yeah, other things like Africa to me is just becoming more and more turbulent. Like with kind of the withdrawing is probably the wrong word, but like reprioritization of the US. Mm-hmm. You're seeing a lot more tensions and like flare ups within Africa, and like France is also pulling back. Wars are expensive, right? Everyone's economies are suffering, so they're kind of withdrawing from their historic spheres of influence. So yeah, I think Africa is going to continue to be turbulent. Like I continue to see pretty aggressive language from Ethiopia around like trying to reclaim access to the sea, which is a massive issue for their economy because they have to pay port charges to Djibouti or maybe Somaliland if they can make that deal. But yeah, so I think stuff like that to me could go flash to bang very quickly. And it's just this constant level of conflict within Africa. Like the Sudan conflict is so underreported for how devastating it is. Like it's been going on for so long now, and it's the death and destruction is just
Yeah,
And because
mainstream media does not do doesn't do it justice. It's not covered. You'll be hard pressed to find anything, even with Nigeria. And that got just a bleep, just tiny bleep, made it on the map just for a little bit because of kinetic strike, and that's a reality. That's the crazy part, that we have to rely on social media pages to get information about the world of what's going on.
And like the shit part is like, if they're not getting attention, then they're not getting resource. So like if the conflict in Sudan isn't in the media and people aren't talking about it, then it just falls away, and no large Western power is going to put resources into it because it's not a voting issue. So why care? Like, it's a brutal business that I don't think I really fully grasp how it actually works until I'd left the military. Because in the military, you're just worried about your government's priorities, right? They are set out to you. You go out and collect your information, write your reports, and feed it back into the system. But what the government prioritizes is driven by a completely other cycle that's a bit more complex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I worry about. The world. But I also don't worry about it. So
how do you find the time and the balance? You mentioned, it's a fun hobby. Do you feel that it's ever going to be your full time, your full focus, and focus more on the training aspect, focus more on the education piece? Now more than ever, especially here in the United States, individuals want to be empowered. They want to learn how to be able to scrutinize information. Anybody can make a school community these days to teach just about anything. Are these, is any of this something that's on the back burner, or do you always see that it's going to be a separate, just kind of hobby thing for you?
I mean, I do sell courses, but they're pretty low key. And they're more just a way of like offsetting the costs of HM. I don't see myself as much of a trainer. Like, while I like helping, I mean, it probably boils down to I'm a pretty shit businessman. Like, the amount of people I've just given my courses to because I'm like, you seem like a nice guy. Yeah. I'm not very good at advertising. Like, I have merch. I never talk about it.
Daniel, seems like you've gone through the Security Halt Business School, because I always tell people I'm a dog shit entrepreneur. I work so damn hard, stay up so damn late. I'm like, fuck, there's got to be an easy way to do it. And I'll have like these discussions with people, and they'll be like, oh yeah, what if you just do this, this, and this? It'll cut your time by half. And I'm like, I've been doing it this way for 4 years. It's like, wow, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Should have gotten to get an MBA.
It would have been smart rather than the masters in geopolitics that I got.
Hey, it's working pretty good right now.
I mean, it looks good on LinkedIn, mate, I tell you. Doing a class after 5 years of Intel, doing a class on the intelligence cycle it's pretty tough. It was a pretty tough ask. I was like, okay, this is where we are. But no, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing. I don't see myself as a trainer. Like, my courses I think they cover the basics of intelligence, but they're very cheap. And compared to because they're all online, because I design them the way that I like training. I like training to be at my own pace, online, and pretty cheap. Like, short, sharp, pretty budget, gives you the crux of the information, because no course is going to teach you how to do something to an amazing level, despite what they say, unless the course has somehow got really good exercises in it. Like, if you think about how long training in the military takes, it's months. But that is because you learn something and then you practice it over and over and over again, and then you do a test. Whereas in the civilian world, a course or a university course is just 8 weeks of getting talked at, and then you have to go and put those new skills or ideas into practice somewhere. So yeah, I don't know. I like Udemy style courses that are just like, here's the information you need to know, and
Absolutely.
good luck. And you're like, sweet. And it costs you $20, and you're like, yep, cool.
Got
so
my
yeah,
certificate.
yeah, like, I mean, the certificate's not worth the paper it's written on, but at least you now understand a concept that you didn't understand before. And
Yeah.
if you have a chance, you can put it into practice, and then you'll learn how to do it better and better and better. But it's like most things, you're gonna, as you learn more, you're gonna come up with your own processes. Like everyone talks about like OSINT. It's like this amazing, and it's like there's so many aspects of OSINT that, I mean, it's very difficult to get into, but like at the end of the day, it's just a process, and you learn your own process of how to do research online. You learn what sources are good for what. And like you do learn by talking to other people, or like courses will show you where to find stuff, but you're going to come up with your own way at the end of the day.
Yeah. Building systems, man. Like it's hard to teach somebody like these concepts. I think the best you can hope to do is, if I'll do you a favor right now, hey, please go to episode description, click the links, go take a class. You know, my man already made it super simple. It's like a Udemy course. You just click through it, learn it. But for
Yeah.
those individuals, like if they're just trying to learn how to be more discerning, like what are some tips that you can give to like my in-laws? I love him, Charles, amazing guy. But if you put that man in front of Fox News, he's going to take that as the gospel of God. It's like, dude, you have to be willing to dive in a little deeper. Go to a different channel, go to a couple more sources, and then be able to discern, like, okay, like this is a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, and then here's truth. Like, what are some tips you can give to people listening that, you know, can help them dissect the media and really get to the truth?
I don't think US media is the greatest to watch as a base level.
I agree with that.
The level of like polarization within US media is, for want of a better word, fucking insane. So for that reason, I don't read it, listen to it, ingest it. I see memes from it.
Yeah.
That's about it. But yeah, in a general sense, it's multiple sources, right? Understanding who owns the news source that you're ingesting or taking in. Where did their allegiances lie? Where does their money come from? Because that is always going to be the base level. It's like how they make money, who they're trying to sell it to. So like if you take Al Jazeera, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's owned by the Qataris. If you don't know that, they own it. If you ever want to see biased reporting, go look at what they're saying about issues Qatar cares about. But for most issues, they're pretty good, because if Qatar doesn't have a vested interest, they're better off coming across as a pretty non-biased source. But then the moment Qatar's interested, just give it a little tweak, you know? So understanding like who owns the source and where they're coming from is probably the first thing. And then trying to just get multiple sources of the same story from different sides, and then find the middle ground. You're probably somewhere near there.
Yeah.
That's my go-to anyway.
Dads, please, I will do you a favor. I will take this snippet from that conversation. I'll put it in an episode description for you. Send that to your parents. Send it to your grandparents, your in-laws, anybody that's a legacy news media fanatic. Help them. Like that at least allows you to sleep better, knowing that you can at least explain it to your loved ones of how to get their information. Because man, it is getting hard, and we have to give them a little bit of grace because they grew up with it. They learned to tune in every day at a certain time and only get their information from there. I was a victim of it for a majority of my adult life. Fucking Fox News for everything. It's not the reality. Both sides are retarded, and they don't. There's no benefit to tell you the truth. You have to go out there. So tune out. Don't tune into those, and start going out somewhere else, man. It's very complicated. It's very complex, but you got to work for it. You got to work for the truth, man. Like, and I want to ask you, like, what's when I look on the news for issues concerning free speech and issues in London, I see nothing but stories of like just absolute lunacy. People going to jail for like 14 years for a mean tweet or a mean post on Instagram. What's the ground truth? What's really happening in London? Like, what's really, what's life for you over there?
So we'll start with like safety and security in London, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably not a great example. I'm a rather big dude, and I've looked like I've been in multiple fights because I have. So probably not the best, example of safety and security while walking around. But in general, it's nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. I used to live in probably one of the worst areas of East London, and never had any issues. No one ever bothered me. It's like most things. If you go around looking for trouble, you're going to find it. But if you just keep to yourself, understand some basic principles of not being an idiot, you're going to be fine. If you hang out in tourist areas, then yeah, you're going to get run into pickpockets. You're going to run into like phone thieves. But this is going to happen in most places. I've never seen anyone have their phone stolen. I've never seen anyone get pickpocketed. And I've lived here for 4.5, nearly 5 years now. I've probably seen less fights here than I saw in New Zealand.
Really?
But that is because it's different kinds of fights. Like the fights that happen in the UK and London are like gang related. So like most knife crime is like gang on gang. So it's like youth gangs stabbing each other for credibility, basically. Whereas like violence in New Zealand is just drunk idiots trying to beat the shit out of each other. Don't know why. Kiwis and Aussies, when we get boozed up, we just love fighting each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like, it's nowhere near as bad as it proclaims to be on the internet. However, I have seen 2 bodies since moving here. So that's pretty crazy. So
not as bad.
This might negate everything I've said.
But slight caveat, just 2 bodies.
Yeah. So I was like running around a pretty prominent park in East London, probably in like 2022. Yep. And there was a cop standing next to a body covered in a sheet of someone who got stabbed in a knife fight and killed. It is, as I said, a pretty rough part of London. And then another, I think about a year or 2 later, running up a canal not far from that park, police were pulling a body out of the canal. And it turned out someone had got murdered and thrown in the canal.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's a Tuesday morning in New York.
People die, right? The world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. I didn't see them get killed, so it's kind of cool.
Hey, no hashtag no trauma. We're good.
Yeah. Right. My brain is just, I don't think I care about much.
Yeah. Which brings me to my next question. You're inundated by a lot of dark things. You're seeing a lot of breaking news and reports. We were joking earlier about the Call of Duty lobbies. Like, we grew up playing Call of Duty. I shouldn't say we growing up. Like, I was an adult man chastising children on Call of Duty. But
it's got to be done. Different. They deserve it.
It was necessary for their maturing process. I helped them. Yeah. But, back then it was, a drone strike was a thing we saw on a video game. Now it's a daily occurrence. And for somebody that's looking to put updated factual information out there for their audience, I would imagine that you're being exposed to it probably more so than the lay man out there that's just perusing. have you noticed or have had issues with the amount of dark stuff you're seeing on a near constant basis? Like, how do you throttle it down? What are you doing to take care of yourself? Like, we cover mental health a lot on the show, and subjecting yourself. The data's out there, the studies are out there. Putting yourself in front of this device or even your computer screen for prolonged periods of time, digesting the stuff, it's not the best thing for you. Have you struggled? Are you like, what are you doing on your daily basis to take care of yourself, man?
I mean, in general, I live a pretty reasonable life. Like, I go to the gym every morning, go for a run or something like that with my partner. Train jujitsu 2 to 3 times a week, not as much as I should be. But there's like other things. So like, I've been looking at this stuff for nearly 10 years. Like, as an intel analyst in the army, I was working in open source intelligence since, the rise of the Islamic State, right?
Yeah.
So like, during my time in the military, we spent a lot of time talking with the psychologists around how to be resilient with this stuff. And like, I don't know. I don't think it's like anything manual anymore. I mean, I click off videos if I know someone's about to get killed.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm like execution videos, I just won't watch it. There's no need to see it. There's no, what happens. It's fine. And I won't post it either because that's just, it's unhelpful. Also, my account will get banned, so it's kind of silly. Drone strikes, again, I'll just like click off. If I see the rockets like heading towards an individual or like, the FPV style drones at a person, I'll just close it before it gets to the point of impact. I don't seem to find FPV drones hitting vehicles to be that bad, even though people are there. I don't know why.
There's only been a few that it's like, actually, you see the individual, I guess the scientific term is turn into hamburger meat. That one's pretty haunting. I've seen some gnarly stuff, but it's what humans are willing to do to each other in war. Got it. When you involve technology,
if there's one thing we can do, it's fucking kill each other.
I'm getting really good at it.
Shockingly. I mean, I've talked to quite a few people about this recently. It's like, we're in a really dark, sadistic way. We're just getting back to what we've always done. Like, the last 70 years post World War II, like, while there's been wars, it's been relative peace. And the wars haven't been like, Korea, Vietnam, stuff like that's pretty significant. Afghanistan, Iraq, big significant wars, but like not like World War II-esque wars. But we're just going. We've done this for thousands of years. Humans, we love it. We can't help ourselves. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
It's true. We love having a bad guy to root against. We love having somebody like Putin to just rally around and say, this bad guy. Like, we've made it a habit, a worldwide habit of always, you got to have somebody to root for and somebody to root against. And unfortunately, we aren't satisfied with just soccer or the NFL. Like,
it's got to be for real, mate.
It's got to be a real match.
I don't know. Like, but then like you look at, I don't know, like the whole reason the EU was founded was to tie Germany and France together economically so they couldn't fight, because basically they're just destined to fight each other because that's just what they've always done, and they'll do it again every 20, 30 years until one of them wins and one of them loses. But I don't know.
It's a complex world.
Yeah. And I think sadly we are just returning to what humans have always done, which is scary and not ideal, but it's kind of just life in a weird way.
I think the one thing that I do want to see come to an end, and I don't know, I don't have a good enough answer to what one side has to give and concede to, is the Ukraine conflict, man. Like in your perfect world, to try to like solve this, like what do you think the best case scenario would be for these two, nations to finally de-escalate and end this war?
I think that some of the issues are bigger than just this war. Like how this war ends, in my opinion, is going to set a precedent for like how the world deals with large scale state on state conflict. And there's another looming large scale state on state conflict that I think, depending on how this war ends, will depend on what happens there. So I think that is like where I start my assessment from, is like it's not just getting out of this war. That if it was, that's all well and good. We could probably exit this war pretty quickly, but appeasement is not going to work. Like for the longevity of peace, essentially letting Putin get away with winning is a tough situation. And for him, it's existential, right? It's, if I don't win here, who knows? And it's not just him he worries about, right? It's his family. We all know what happens when a dictator dies. His family doesn't get to live in that lovely little house in northwestern Russia anymore. So I don't think he's thinking just about himself. I think he's thinking about his successors, his family, and to him, it's either win or die. And if it's die, it's probably the death of your entire family. So that gives you a lot to fight for, right?
Yeah. I didn't even think about it that way. Shit.
Yeah. Well, like, and if he loses, the Russian economy collapses. He gets deposed, probably by other oligarchs. They're probably not just going to let him wander off to Siberia by himself and disappear. He's probably going to follow the fate of many Russians and fly out a window or something similar.
Mysterious.
And if that happens, what does his family do? Are the oligarchs going to let his family just inherit all this money that they've been siphoning off for Russia all this time?
No.
Or do you just quietly get rid of them and keep it for yourself? So I think it's probably one of the most complex issues to solve. And then it comes down to like, if you're a Ukrainian, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I talked about it this morning on my podcast. It's like Trump said on Sunday that he doesn't believe that Ukraine flew those drones at Putin's house. He said they faked it. They fabricated the evidence and they're lying, right? It's like, this is just a dry run for how they break whatever ceasefire they want. And if you're Ukraine, you just watch them do it. Like, and they're just going to stand there and bold-faced lie to you and be like, no, you tried to attack us, so we're going to attack you now. And depending on how the peace agreement looks and how the security guarantees look, can whoever's providing the security guarantors just step aside and let Russia roll back in? Because if you're in Ukraine, why would you accept that? Like, while they're not winning, they're not losing. Well, they are, but very, very slowly.
Yeah.
And like, how long can Russia deal with this amount of losses, this cost? Is that something has to give? Active defense is working all right. I disagree with some of their military tactics, but hey, I'm not there. I'm not making the decisions. Also, it's not my job. But like, slowly grinding down the Russian army. I think last month was the first time they haven't been able to replenish more soldiers than they lost in the month. So like, is that a sign that it's starting to fail? And if you're Ukraine, is that here we go. You can only throw so much meat into the grinder until you run out of meat. And they
Yeah.
have a lot of meat, but it's not endless.
Oh yeah, no. The one thing that's unique about this, it's for the first time in modern history, we're seeing passionate volunteers on both sides and conscriptions on the Russian side. Individuals that have got service members that have gotten out, veterans that have gone to Ukraine to fight for their cause. You got Colombians, Brazilians, Mexicans, tons and tons of people that are pouring in because they identify with the cause. They want to be there. But for me, it's like, geez, man, like it's that old man trying to tell a young man, like, be careful what you wish for, man. Like this idea that war is the ultimate thing. No, I hate to tell you, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to not have to, I was never in active contact.
No.
I served my deployments in a skiff, as you said, especially Five Eyes skiffs, a long way away from any form of conflict. So I had a lush life. But I have a few friends who've gone over, and a few of them have passed away. But when I talk to them, like, I think there's some people, they can't help but try. They just want to experience it. And like with what reasons they're doing it for, good or bad, hey, someone's going to fight the war. Yeah, it is pretty hard. And like, I mean, I can't imagine fighting a war with FPVs. I was talking to someone the other day, and you're a special operations man yourself. And I said this in a bit of a joking way, but is the reality of it, it's pretty tough, is you guys spend so much time training and perfecting your skills to be these like precision operators who do the pointy end. And now you can get killed by a 15-year-old flying a drone that costs $2,000.
Yeah.
And he can kill you in the dead of night. You don't have a fucking chance. Yeah.
On a good note though, we have incredible, amazing individuals in our special operations community that have taken it upon themselves to take it as your mission to go to Ukraine, to learn and develop TTPs, to adjust on the fly, to rewrite tactics and techniques for such a formidable opponent is insane. And some of the tech, some of the ingenuity, just rewriting how you patrol in that environment to ensure that, like, hey, look, if one of us is going to take it, you're going to take out the entire squad or team. And I'm seeing that level of ownership of the mission set with guys that are at that leading edge of it. I'm in awe of, one, willing to put yourself out there, willing to do this, and two, the tenacity of being willing to like go back and talk to people in the tech space to be like, hey, how can I cloak myself from a fucking drone? Like, what are some ideas? Let's brainstorm this. Like, that's great and all. That's the ingenuity of this fight, but still, you shouldn't be there. I don't want you there. I don't want you to be dealing with it. This is a conflict that has now, I feel, has gotten into this. We're really close to seeing what I don't want it to become is this next generation's Afghanistan, next generation's Iraq, where it's the ball is a stalemate. Like, you're moving, inches one way, and the next month or 2 months down the road, it's the other way, with no clear and decisive understanding of what victory looks like. That's the greatest lesson that I take away from the years of Afghanistan. Senior officers, seniors, leaders that never had a clear understanding of what the exit strategy is and what the fucking end game would be. So that's like what I'm fascinated about this, specifically in Ukraine and in Russia, like individuals like yourself that can bring in some insight of what it really looks like to be that guy on the ground, that like what's going through Putin's head. Of course, he's not willing to fucking concede because, like you mentioned earlier, it's not just him. He's worried about the reality of the situations. What happens if I don't win decisively, 100%? Everybody that I love and care about, they're done. They're out. So Yeah. That's a good way to frame it and look at it, man.
Yeah. And also, from what I understand, the Russian economy is currently designed in a way that it cannot survive if it stops fighting. So yeah,
That's crazy.
It's an extremely tough situation. And
Yeah.
I agree that I hope it doesn't drag out to the times that, Iraq, Afghanistan are, and everyone loses sight of what the goals really are.
Yeah. It's not where it's at, kids. Stay home. Serve, absolutely serve. I want more people I think the military gave me great opportunities. So I want people to be encouraged to serve, but don't look at war as like the romanticized idea. I mean, I think it's a young man thing. We all had it. We wanted to be the hero.
I
I think
talked
it's part of
to
it.
a psychologist about this once. Essentially, what it boils down to, from this guy's perspective, is the romanticization and like the psychology built into, especially like lower infantry units, it's a necessity, right? And the brutal way it is at some point you have to convince these young men to go stand up, march across some form of land, and do despicable things to other people. So you have to somehow psychologically convince them that it's the right thing to do and to give them the courage to do it. Like, and believe. So it's like how all infantry units think they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
All soldiers think they're the toughest, meanest, hardest, fastest humans there ever are. And it's like this psychology that's just pushed into all soldiers' brains is as a necessity to get them to go do the job. Because without it, if you think you're going to go into that room and there's 7-foot Spetsnaz dude who's going to clothesline you over and then break your brains with his fists, probably just going to lob grenades from the door. But I don't know. It's a weird.
I think you're on it. I think
position.
That's part of it. It is, man. I think the truth is like you can never convince a young man that's already made up his mind about service. I got a friend right now, same thing, trying to talk to him, be like, dude, look, you're past your prime. Like you're a husband, you're a father. Make that your mission.
And he's going to join. He's joining up now.
Yeah. Well, he's going a different route.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like there's conflict all over the world, and there's opportunities to serve in various capacities with various, as a contractor, to go do work in places like Ukraine or in Africa. One thing I always tell people is like, dude, the greatest mission you can have is being right here at home, to your family, to your friends. Be the best version of yourself here. You don't have to fight a war to find yourself. I mean, a lot of us did. It was a great adventure, but at the end of the day, it was just a footnote. It was just a footnote of my life. It wasn't everything, and I think that's something that I like to tell every veteran. And I think it transcends territories and boundaries. It's probably the same in the UK, where a lot of veterans feel like their only great chapter was in service, in uniform. And in reality, it's like, no, like, dude, what you're doing right now is infinitely more important than going out there and suiting back up and trying to make a run at the next conflict. I wouldn't survive. I'm too old. Definitely don't have the run times I used to have. Find your purpose in the now and what you're doing and where you're going and the family you're building. And if you're looking for good intelligence, my friend Daniel's got a great page to follow. Please do us a favor before we close out, man. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us what you're doing, and where can people find your awesome e-courses?
It's HM Intelligence in most places. The specifics, I'm not 100% sure. The main kind of things I'm trying to grow at the moment is my YouTube, which is like Hugging a Minin Intelligence, and also the podcast, The Intel Brief, which is basically me chatting shit each morning for about 6 to 7 minutes. I've just started making a video for it, which is essentially just showing what I'm looking at while I'm talking. But hopefully going to develop it into something more. But yeah, and then like hmintelligence.org has everything else.
Perfect.
But yeah,
and what's the YouTube channel again?
Huggin is HM Intelligence or Huggin and Minna Intelligence. It'll
Perfect.
Something will get you there.
Yeah.
Or just message me on Instagram.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Just go ahead and pause the episode right now. Go to those descriptions. Click all those links. Help my brother out. Subscribe to the show. Watch it grow. Be one of those that follow them from the early, because I have a feeling this thing is going to blow up, and I'll be following as soon as we get done recording. I'm going to go there and check it out. YouTube, it's a little difficult, folks. Support our guy right from the start. Be one of the first subscribers. Be one of the first followers. And then the most important thing, share it with your friends. Share it with your mom and dad that have a hard time listening to anything other than Fox News or MSNBC or any other especially if they listen to The View. If you got any family members that watch The View, just send them this link. Just help them out. They're struggling, folks. Dude, I can't thank you enough for being here, Daniel. It's great to see the work that you're doing. It's extremely helpful because, like I said, as soon as I knew something was going on with Maduro, the first page I went to was yours. I was like, all right, he's going to have something that's actually of value other than Maduro dancing and doing the stanky leg through AI.
They were good, though. I will get AI's gone too far.
Some of the fucking memes out there, they are hilarious. They are very enjoyable. It did make me laugh, but at the same time, I want to hear information. I want to know the truth of what's going on. Because now I'm a dirty civilian. I'm no longer privy to the skiff discussions. I can't go down and find out what those boys are doing. So yeah, I'm selfish, and I want you to be selfish too when it comes to being educated about current events. So please follow HM Intelligence. Like I said before, all the links will be in the episode description. Daniel, thank you for being here. Folks, season fucking 8. We've been doing it. Finally, I think we hit our stride. We finally know what we're doing here. And by we, I mean me. Because just like Daniel, it's a solo fucking endeavor. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Daniel, thank you for being here. We'll see y'all next time. Till then, take care.